So now, take away Jesus, men and women have faults. So you find out later, years later, that Martin Luther King was he was unfaithful.
He was a man.
He was unfaithful, right? And then you find out certain things about like Dr. J. Dr. J and his wife, weren't as happy as they appeared on Ebony magazine. But back in the day, you didn't have unlimited access and social media and paparazzi all around to send stuff back as it happens in real time.
Going back to Diddy, I wanted to ask you, what do you think as far as the public forgiving? What do you think will be the things that will allow forgiveness in someone?
I think it depends on the person. I do think, if what he did, it is kind of reprehensible. Not to judge, but he was found guilty with underage, people, women. I don't have to ever play his music again.
I'll tell you what he was charged with. I looked into this. Federally, he was charged with racketeering, trafficking in attempt to prostitute.
That's Diddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are those, in your mind, for you, forgivable?
Yeah.
If he's charged, found guilty of those?
Yeah, forgivable. The other thing, will I endorse? Do I want to give any money by supporting him streaming Diddy stuff?
Me personally, that's a no for me. Those sorts of crimes against people and women specifically based on my upbringing, that's a no. Welcome back to the Future Past podcast. Today's episode, Cancel Culture and Forgiveness, where we dive deep into the world of public opinion, redemption, and second chances. Cancel culture has become a significant part of our society where public figures are held accountable for their actions. But what happens when they seek forgiveness? Can they regain our support? I'm Sean.
And I'm Joel. That's a tough one because we talked about forgiveness individually and personally. Now, with the public opinion, it's individual too, whether we want to forgive, but I think at the whole root of everything is, are we giving a lot of emphasis and making people celebrities, or giving a lot of making people celebrities and then holding them accountable at a time where should we have that much access to people's personal lives to be able to should we be judging them or condemning them? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they're watching every little thing, you're a celebrity, and they're watching every little thing you do, and the paparazzi's following you everywhere, you could be under ridicule for anything.
Yeah.
24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Should we be able to have that access to people?
Should we? I don't know, but do we? Yeah, I think most of the people realize when they sign up for a celebrity, that's just part of it. You're signing on a dotted line to give away a lot of, giving away a lot of your personal freedom.
So you're giving away all your privacy.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they can basically the paparazzi can be on your roof. They could be outside your door. They could film you. You leave the curtains open.
Yep, everything.
And you're walking, in the nude or whatever. Those pictures, they can take those pictures and publish them.
That part, I don't know, but
I think
just the access, they're definitely giving up a tremendous amount of access. So I think a lot of them, and originally they were reluctant, as anyone would be, to give away your freedom. That who wants to do that no matter what? Because you feel like, hey, I didn't sign up for this part of it. Just because I'm making money because I'm a celebrity doesn't mean that you get access to my whole entire life. But now
we do.
Just what
we have access, and not only do we have almost unlimited access, but then we have the nerve to criticize and judge.
Yeah.
Right? So if someone does something we think is immoral, unethical, then we can be the judge and jury as the public, right?
Yeah.
So we could say, hey, Diddy, you're guilty. We're pretty sure that you had these kind of parties. And we're looking online attentively, right, for people to confess. Oh, I was at the Diddy party and he did this. I was at the, those white parties and he did this. Yeah. And oh yeah, sometimes when you look at the podcast about people sharing, there might be 1 million people that watch that and are just enthralled by these people coming forward now about Diddy.
Yeah.
Just like with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was this phenomenal leader in the black community, right? for some people, for a lot of people. With the Cosby Show, he was, America's father figure. And, he was telling people, come on, pick up your pants and you need to do this. And he was giving parenting advice and all that. And him and Camille were this phenomenal couple that people looked up to. A lot of people, I think, looked up to. And then that fall from grace, right?
Yeah.
Bill Cosby's drugging women, So some people forgave him, but they stopped supporting him. And then, of course, there are people out there that can't wait for us to mess up, right? They can't wait. They're like, I know nobody could be that good. Nobody could be that perfect. There's got to be something there.
Yeah, that's interesting. When you put someone on a pedestal, you're waiting for them to fall down. Celebrity, for me personally, I'm not super interested in it, honestly, even though we're going to talk about it. You know how they say, like, something about idolizing. I forget what they say about it, but basically, I'm just not one of those people, like, I don't look to celebrity really at all, because, like, it just has nothing to do with mine.
Well, do you idolize anything or anyone?
No, there are a few people that I hold in high regard, for sure, that I don't know personally. That is probably kind of odd, because you're just going based off of how they appear to you or how they've been presented to you. Like, again, I always say, reference like someone like Denzel. People that I look at or seems like have traits that I would want to emulate, or that I see that like remind me of like father figures for the most part, or the people that I say I would look to, or someone I would want to meet. But I never look to celebrity for any sort of guidance. Like, you don't know that person, like, you don't know what they're doing.
So I think as a kid, I used to idolize certain people, certain athletes, certain entertainers.
Like who?
Dr. J, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Jesus, right? I used
picking
to,
the best people.
well, but so now, take away Jesus, men and women have faults. So you find out later, years later, that Martin Luther King was he was unfaithful.
He was a man.
He was unfaithful, right? And then you find out certain things about like Dr. J. Dr. J and his wife, weren't as happy as they appeared on Ebony magazine. But back in the day, you didn't have unlimited access and social media and paparazzi all around to send stuff back as it happens in real time. So as I got older, I learned not to idolize anything or anybody.
Yeah.
I had a car that I idolized, and God taught me it's a car.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it got dented. I'd be upset, or I'd be up looking out the window. I'd hear the car alarm go off. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I learned not to idolize anything or anybody, because it is what it is. People are people. Material things are material things.
Yeah, absolutely. You find out as you age, there's a lot of people that are worshiping false idols.
Yeah.
Basically, you got to be really careful with that. But going back to Diddy, I wanted to ask you, what do you think, as far as the public forgiving, what do you think will be the things that will allow forgiveness in someone?
I think it depends on the person who we forgive. I think it depends on what they've done. So what's forgivable, what's not forgivable? And maybe we forgive, but we no longer endorse or support that person anymore. We cancel them, cancel culture.
Yeah.
Okay. So Diddy's found guilty. Do we stop playing all Diddy's music? Everything that he's written, anything that he's performed in, anything that he's produced. Now that's a lot of music. Think of R. Kelly. On my lives on TikTok, I play slow jams. So I asked people, would you be offended if I played R. Kelly? I didn't care either way, right? I do think, if what he did, it is kind of reprehensible. Not to judge, but he was found guilty with underage, people, women. I don't have to ever play his music again, But see, is that how? So we don't play R. Kelly's music, but do we play other people's music that have done bad things? Do we support other people that have done things that we find unethical or immoral?
Do you think you forgive him? Let me tell you what he was charged with. I looked into this. Federally, he was charged with racketeering, trafficking, and trafficking in attempt to prostitute.
That's Diddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are those, in your mind, for you, forgivable? If he's charged, found guilty of those?
Yeah, forgivable. The other thing, will I endorse? Do I want to give any money by supporting him streaming Diddy stuff? Do I want to go to, if he produced certain things or recorded certain things, do I want to stream that? And does that money go to Diddy? See what I'm saying?
So you'll never support him again, but you'll forgive him.
I'll forgive him, but yeah, I don't, if he's sex trafficking and doing all these other things, yeah, no, I don't want to support that.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. See, I think that, me personally, that's a no for me. Those sorts of crimes against people and women specifically based on my upbringing, that's a no for me. That's a no. But I think the public may give him some leeway just because for one, he's a cultural icon. He's been that for a long time for people. Two, he's done some charitable works out there, so he has that sort of cachet. And he's publicly apologized, which to me means nothing at all. I mean, it literally means nothing. But I think that some people might take those things into account.
Okay, let's ask this. What if you find out it's much bigger than Diddy and a lot of other people get implicated and we're part of those things?
Would I forgive Diddy?
Would you forgive those people? Like, can you forgive those people? And would you not endorse or support those people?
No, I'm not forgiving anyone that trafficked another human or prostituted. No, that's not, no, I'm not.
Okay. No,
absolutely not. That's a no for me. Like, you can go on and live your life. And I believe in redemption for that person. I believe that human is redeemable, that most offenses are redeemable.
So you're saying redeemable. He gets out of prison, he changes his life, he repents for what he's done.
Yeah.
Still not, you wouldn't?
No.
Okay. No, I'm just wondering, when you're saying redeemable, what does that mean to you when someone redeems himself?
I mean, like, he can do some good after he did a whole lot of terrible shit. Like, he may not forever be that thing that he did, but am I ever going to forgive that? No, because it's a grown man making choices and leveraging power against other humans. Like, we know what that is.
Would you forgive Bill Cosby?
No.
Okay.
But it's also not for me to forgive either, So, but no, I'm not those kind of things. For me personally,
right?
No, that's unforgivable. For some reason, I don't know why, I have an issue with power. When people leverage power against other people, probably again my upbringing, Yeah, I don't know.
So Bill Cosby, if he makes a comeback tour, you're not going to there.
Take it to the Bill Cosby show. No, but I believe he can live a life, worth living. I'm sure he does after, and can do some good and maybe even more harm than he did bad. Hopefully, But no, that's a no for me.
Okay, so it's just personal, right? It's very personal because there are people out there that do things, and people I've seen people overlook it.
Yeah.
I've seen people overlook it. I remember Ray Rice, the running back for the Ravens, and he was in Atlantic City, and he brutally assaulted his fiancée, in the elevator. And it was caught on, they showed it over and over again. They got the footage of it. He's kicking her and he drags her out of the elevator. There were actually some women at that next game that were wearing his jersey.
Yeah.
Right? Before he got kicked out of the NFL altogether.
Yeah.
But that just lets me know that some people can do something heinous and the public will forgive them.
Yeah.
And support them. Not just forgive them, but support them.
Yeah, which is interesting. It definitely depends on the severity of the action and the allegation, for sure, whether or not the public forgives. And again, person to person. I think a lot of times I want to ask you how you reach a place of forgiveness, because for me, hopefully I'm not using the wrong word, but the word I'm going to use is justification. I think that people try to make justifications for the actions. If you can put yourself in the scenario of what that person did, and maybe there could be a reason why. I could see why, in the instance of Ray Rice, someone said, well, I could see if she put her hand or this or that, then you could begin to make justifications and you could try to rationalize it. But in the instance of someone like Diddy, no, I can't see that shit.
What about Chris Brown, Rihanna? See, it's not really, like you said, it's not really for me to forgive because they didn't do anything to me.
Yeah.
Right? But as far as supporting them, no, I'm not going to support them.
Yeah.
I mean, I have daughters.
Yeah.
I'd never want a man to physically assault my daughters, emotionally. So, to emotionally assault them. Right? So, no, I mean, Would I forgive them? If they did something to my family? Yeah, I would really work towards forgiveness. As a Christian, I would work towards forgiveness. Would I want to be around them? No.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't harm them. I wouldn't try to plot revenge. I think because then now it's on me. Like it's making me ill. It's making me want to do something that is treacherous and not Christian.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would, because sometimes people do some heinous stuff. And I've seen, like in that church in South Carolina, where the young man came in and, pew-pewed people and unalived them. I saw people in that church forgive. Some of the people forgave them. And I've read stories of people whose family members were unalived, and they forgave the person who unalived them. And in some cases, they even allowed them to move into their homes, or they helped support them when they got out of prison or while they were in prison. And I said, man, I hope to be able to do something like that one day, to be able to forgive someone who did something to me or my people I love.
Yeah, I love that. The one that you mentioned, Chris Brown and Rihanna, for a long time, that was because, again, that's my childhood growing up. I think I had a lot of anger growing up because to me, I really couldn't differentiate. To me, every man was that man, that assaulted, a person that I love. So I always had probably a kind of a abrasive nature towards men, because I just kind of sort of always wanted to smoke with whatever man, because like that person was going to be, the person that paid for something that I felt like I couldn't do as a younger person. Because when you're a child, you feel like you have no power. So as you get older, you're like, all right, well, somebody got to get this working. You know what I mean? Like now, and you just kind of
yeah. So you're going to take it out on all these other people since you couldn't take it out on the person
exactly
who did the wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So with Chris Brown, I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
Chris Brown, I always had that sort of energy for him, but I saw recently that Rihanna had embraced him.
Yes.
So when I saw that, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. That's powerful. Good for her. And obviously, since it doesn't mean anything to me personally, like if she can do that, then we all should.
And she probably realized to move forward, because she's married and with kids, to move forward in her life, she probably realized she had to forgive him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
that he couldn't continue to hold her hostage emotionally. See what I'm saying? So that's where, we talked about personal forgiveness, but the cancel culture thing is that, the public deems who they're going to forgive, who they're not going to forgive, who they're going to support, who they're going to demonize, who they're not going to demonize. It's funny that sometimes people who commit the same type of crimes, one person is demonized and canceled and this other person isn't.
Yeah.
Like with Jonathan Majors. I mean, it appeared like he was trying to escape his girlfriend or the woman he was in that vehicle with.
He's running.
And he's running down the street. Like, you run down the street. Yeah, I think but sometimes, you may inadvertently, if I'm trying to defend myself from somebody that's attacking me physically, you may get a bruise, you may sustain something, because if the attack is vicious, then I have to do whatever I need to do, the least amount of physical to neutralize you, to stop you from hurting me.
Yeah, you think that was maybe the case in his scenario?
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah.
If you're in a situation and you're being attacked by someone, hopefully, especially if it's someone that that you're stronger than, and that you could do damage to, then you're trying to buffer those punches and that assault. But sometimes in trying to neutralize it and buffer, maybe inadvertently, I hit you, because I'm ducking.
You get poked in the eye or something?
You get hit in the eyes, you get scratched on the side of the cheek, whatever.
Yeah. Some defensive wounds. Yeah, I get it.
Right?
Yeah, that's an interesting.
But he got canceled right away.
Oh, absolutely.
He got canceled. They dropped his Army commercials. They dropped him out of some of the movie roles he was supposed to get.
Yep. And he got saved by a black woman. Shout out to Megan Good.
Megan Good, yeah. That was interesting.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, shout out to her. She literally came in and stood by his side, and she changed the narrative.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. To a degree. To a degree.
Yeah, she appeared to have changed the narrative by standing by his side. So I got another one for you. What about Snoop Dogg? Let me tell you about Snoop Dogg. Just originally, Snoop Dogg, he originally, historically, he had lined himself with the Democratic Party.
Yeah, yeah.
The Democratic
Democratic Party where he put out a video.
He supported Barack Obama in 2012.
So he put out a video demeaning anyone that would appear at the inauguration of Donald Trump the first time. I mean, he said, he used some colorful language and he really acted in a way that said, who's going to be the first to go, perform for, and he used, slave terms in that video. And he was very condescending.
Yeah. Fast
forward, you're talking about, so that was what, 2017, 2016, 17. So now you're at 2025 and he reverses course and appears and performs at Donald Trump's inauguration.
Yeah.
So it kind of contradicts that video before, but to each his own, that it doesn't affect me. I don't idolize anybody. So could I be disappointed? Yeah. I could be disappointed because it contradicts and you felt so strongly one way for whatever reasons. And now it seems like those reasons didn't matter as much. Now, I don't know why he did it. Don't care because it has no effect on my life.
Yeah.
I'm not going out and streaming his music. I'm not going to his concerts. He's not related to me and he's not, tied to me in any way. So whatever, somebody, maybe he went for the bag. Maybe he couldn't resist the money.
Well, let me tell you what I think it is. Now, do you know about this? That in Trump's last days of office, he pardoned the co-founder of Death Row Records, a fella named Harrio. Do you know that? Okay. I'm thinking, so you do know why he may have did. Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously that seems like why he probably changed course.
Don't know. Is it that?
But would you...
Or is it the money? Or is it both?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean... Is it
both?
But that specifically seems like something that would have likely swayed him to, change course, which obviously the public is going to feel a certain kind of way about that. Feel betrayed, for sure.
I think we all might have something that people could hold over us. Down the line, if you're running for politics, I'm running for politics, there might be certain people that might be in our family that, might be in trouble or have gotten in trouble, or there might be things that we could be blackmailed with. And it's just a matter of, are we willing to say, go ahead, do what you got to do? I'm going to still stay my course. Or are we going to say, you know what, they got me, and I'm going to have to do what I'm going to have to do? Because, Elon Musk put out that video and say, oh, I guess he changed course. So to really make him look bad, to make Snoop look bad.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like he came and bent the knee. And
yes, kiss the ring.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to kiss the ring.
Yeah, and he did, and then they shit on him. Yeah, absolutely. But that's a slightly different situation than what you're describing, the blackmailing and all that. This just sounds like someone that changed courses based on self-serving interests. I mean, we don't know.
Or if it's because his friend was let out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you're right. But that could be blackmail. See what I'm saying? Hey, if you do this, we did this for you. Yeah, we did this for you. We don't know if there's any bargains for the future. I don't know if he has anything on the back burner. Maybe some of his family might have something. They might have a whole list of stuff.
Yeah.
Just never know.
So forgivable offense.
Forgivable, yeah, because he didn't do it to me. Do I support? No. No. Can people change their mind? Yeah. I believe they can change their mind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a problem. That's why I'm saying it's not cancel culture for me, because I just feel that I'm not that big a fan anyway. So it doesn't influence me. You know, Chris Brown, I like Chris Brown. I think he has some good songs, but they still play a lot of his music. He has a new song out, Residual, that they play. So was he canceled? Maybe for a while, but it doesn't seem like it now, or that he has been for, quite a while.
I got you. In the instance of Snoop, though, you don't feel like cancellation is you don't believe in canceling someone for their views or their course?
I think it depends on what it is. I think if he came out, well, let's use another example, Kanye. So some of the things that he's putting out are kind of strong, so, Snoop, there's nothing really to cancel, but Kanye, is coming out with some stuff that is, that's a lot of anti different things.
Yeah. Yeah, Snoop's interesting though, because he's more interesting to me because it's one thing if you weren't saying anything, right? Mm-hmm. If you weren't standing on your politics, but to come out as an advocate and a representative for and of a group of people and then to switch sides on them, no. That's a no. Like, yeah, you can change your mind and sure all that, but not like that. Well, actually, technically, I guess you can do it like that because he did do it like that. And, an individual can do whatever they want. But should the public support that? I don't think so. I would not support that if I was following leadership, which I don't. But if I was looking to Snoop, as a sign or signal, and he did that to me, I'd feel betrayed. I feel like the public has a right to feel exactly how they feel. I feel like all the condemnation and the hate that he's getting, I feel like he earned it.
I think it goes back to idols. Do you like what this guy does? How does that influence your life?
Well, yeah, but he's Snoop. So
don't matter.
Yeah, but to the world, to the public, he's Snoop.
Right. But I'm saying, how does this influence? Is it making you richer? Are you a better person by following him? Is this person your representative of which you want to become or which you hope to be?
For some people, maybe.
For some people it is.
Yeah.
But I don't put him on that pedestal because this Snoop is not the Snoop from 10 and 20 years ago either. See what I'm saying? So what people may follow now might not be what they followed 10 and 20 years ago, and he didn't come out and justify it that I saw.
What do you mean?
I mean, what he did performing at the inauguration recently.
He didn't come out and justify it?
Meaning he didn't come out and say, I changed my political views.
He didn't have to. He just did it.
And he came out and said, we hate on each other as people. He came out and he did a video and I'm full of love. We should love one another. You should worry about your own life and not worry about mine.
That's convenient.
But you know what? That's convenient, but I think it's prophetic because I believe that.
If we weren't worried about him, he wouldn't be Snoop.
Exactly. And guess what? I'm not worried about Snoop.
Yeah.
Like I don't lose any sleep over Snoop or anybody. There's very few people, my family members, yeah. But again, I think we give people so much power, right? We give people a lot of power as celebrities. We make influencers, right? We give them a lot of power. You watch their stuff, you like it for whatever reason, and they get 3 million followers or 5 million followers, right? And they get all this power and they get this money and this prestige that can be taken away with one bad video, right? They make one bad video where, they come out and say something that people don't like, or they find out they've done something that people don't like, and they can be canceled. You and I could be canceled. You're right. We're not celebrities,
yeah, well,
but
you and I could,
right. You cancel. You only have a few followers to cancel.
Yeah, we can't be canceled, but yeah.
But see what I'm saying? I think we're idolizing the wrong people and the wrong things. That's all. We put, like you said, we put people on pedestals.
Yeah, false idols.
And then we're disappointed when they don't live up to the image that we think they should.
Yeah. I mean, it's all part of it, though, because that's just part of the machine. That's part of the media machine. It's part of the culture.
I think we want to...
If there was no Snoop, what is there going to be? No people?
I think we want to believe in people. I think we want to believe in people for certain reasons. because they embody some of the things that we are or want to be. So I don't, nobody you mentioned do I want to be or be like,
Yeah.
you know?
So forgivable. So it's all forgivable for you.
Again, you're not influencing my family directly.
Yeah.
You don't have to justify to me what you did. You have to justify to God, if that's what you believe, or, you know,
Yeah.
or the people that you've harmed. Show repentance and not do it again. But at the same time, I'm very picky about who I support, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe in that instance. I believe that's forgivable too, because that's just not I don't know. I'm not very deep into politics, which way you go. Like, I guess I get it. You thought that was going to help get your guy out. If that's even the case. We don't even know that's the case, but it just seems like they align. So
One day,
it's possible. It sounds like a likely reason why someone would end up going a different direction after being so strong spoken in the other direction. That's the thing that makes it
excuse
unique.
me,
Very strong words on the other end, and then to go the other way without saying anything, no word, just to jump ship and then just act like, what? Come on.
I try not to judge because I don't know if I'll be there one day. See what I'm saying? I don't know what circumstance might put me in that position one day. Maybe one of my kids goes to prison, right? And they say, look, if you endorse this person, this candidate, we can get your son out. We can pardon your son or your daughters.
You doing it.
I don't know. That's what I would have to figure out. Could I live with that? See what I'm saying? Because I still believe in God. Now, if they did something heinous and reprehensible, I might want to pardon them. But after careful thought, it might not be the thing to do. See what I'm saying? If they did that, that crime was bad enough.
You mean like whatever reason that person is in there for?
I would, don't get me wrong, I would struggle with it because I love my kids, I love my family. But I also love God. Let's say I got my daughter or son out of prison, and then they did something worse to someone.
Yeah.
That's on my conscience. That's on me. That guilt's on me. Because, and I'm saying overwhelmingly, they're guilty. Not questionable, not, suspicion, that they did something, they took a life, or they raped someone, or some, you did that. You were conscious, you consciously did something to someone that not only influenced them negatively or took their life, but it could influence generations, their family, if they had kids and all that,
But you forgive those people.
I can forgive. I don't have to forget, and I don't have to go along with it, meaning I don't have to subscribe or be complicit with or comfortable with what they did because it was wrong.
I understand.
Could be me one day. Look, let me tell you something. I don't put it past. Now, I'm not saying, because I know what mental illness is about. And I know that there are people that sometimes are strong, good people that make horrible mistakes. Let's say I lose my temper. Somebody is attacking one of my kids or my grandkids, and I lose my temper and I unalive someone. Rage, right? Rage.
Good scenario. Good scenario, Joel. You made it something where it was like believable because I was going a whole different way with it. But yeah, I understand. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm capable of at any given time.
So you want to be forgiven for that lapse.
I'm telling you now, I've come a long way. I've come a long way. So my 20s, I'll step to anybody.
Yeah.
Didn't matter who you were. If you disrespected me or anybody I cared about, not a problem.
Go time.
It's go time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that God saved me and I didn't do some of the things that I could have done that would have put me in prison or unalive me, and that he gave me grace throughout to be sitting where I am talking to you at 61.
Appreciate you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I won't bore you with the details, but let me tell you something. Amazing. God's amazing, and how he has saved me. Because there were times I just wasn't a good person. I thought I was, but by Christian standards, by God's standards, I wasn't, and he stuck by me and helped me to become a better person. Not everybody has been as blessed and as fortunate to make some of those same moves that I made. They're no longer here. They're in prison. Maybe they're paralyzed or have some other symptoms from what they've done that they didn't think through. So yeah, I'm fully into the forgiveness thing because God's forgiven me and people have forgiven me. So I had to learn that, to forgive other people.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm glad that you painted that picture because we're talking about so many different things and conflating so many different things where I was ready to interject and be like, look, because I was too focused on the things that are personal to me. I'm like, there's zero chance I'm ever going to be any of those things. And I hope the same for you too.
Right.
But you were talking about some other things, obviously.
There's other
zero
crimes.
Chance
Right. There's zero chance you're going to be some of those heinous things.
But
there's other things that you could do
accidentally, yeah.
Or on purpose, because at that time you didn't control yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So,
I get what you're saying. Like lose control, which would still kind of sort of be an accident. It's not like you woke up in the morning like, I'm about to go kill somebody. But in the moment, you could possibly do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's different, though. If you're describing that, if you wake up in the morning and say but whatever.
Look, when we hold on to stuff, anger, and we don't forgive, then sometimes it's right there under the surface.
Yeah. Oh, I've been there.
Yeah.
Here, actually, I'm going to tell a story real quick. It's going to be a quick one. When I was like 26, 27, super drunk, blackout drunk. And I just decided, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go my day. I was so set on it too. I was like, really felt like in my mind, granted, I was inebriated, but I really felt like this is what I need to do. And had I been maybe in the vicinity, I think I may have did it because I felt like it was what I needed to do. I felt like I had a purpose in that moment. I felt like that was my purpose, and I think it's because I had a lot of underlying, like you said, anger. So yeah. I could have been that person. So you're right.
And what I think is that God stops you from doing that. He put something, a roadblock or something there that stopped you from fulfilling that thought, that action to take revenge on your dad.
Yeah.
Whether you fell asleep, whether, whatever it was, that momentary stop prevented you from doing something that you would regret the rest of your life.
Yeah, for sure. Crazy, right? Never felt nothing like it.
Yeah.
So forgiveness, determination, how we decide, I think it's based on the severity, the sincerity, for me personally, and it just varies person to person. It's not just about.
Like I said, some people commit the same crimes. They do the same things that are negative, right? And we forgive one person and we don't forgive the other. And that could be based on a lot of things. It could be based on a lot of things societally, right? So that's the only thing. That's why I try to be careful because, hey, if Sean does this, but then Greg does this, the same crime, they should get the same punishment. But that's not necessarily what happens.
Yeah, makes sense. Depends on our willingness to move past the situation.
Who we demonize and who we don't.
Yeah, and that's unique person to person.
Yeah, with celebrities.
I like that. Close out?
Yeah.
All right. Till next time, thanks for joining us here at the Future Past Podcast. Like, subscribe, share, and check Joel out at God to Chill on TikTok. Any other place?
Facebook, Instagram,
What about your live? You got any live coming up?
YouTube. Usually Tuesday and Thursday nights between 9 and 10, I jump on, and then sometimes Sunday nights. So
All right.
around 9 or 10.
At God to Chill. Check them out. Thank you.
Thank you.